Today we gather not just to mourn, but to celebrate the life of Grudel. Grudel, with lute in hand and a song always on his lips, showed us that bravery comes in many forms. Grudel was a beacon of a different kind of heroism. That the willingness to stand up about what is right, even when the odds are against you. So let us not remember Grudel, what he was missing, but for the spirit he embodied. His enthusiastic stories, his unwavering bravery, and he was a man who showed us that true courage comes from within. Farewell, Grudel. May your songs echo in the bard's tales. Hello everybody and welcome. We're D&D Boyband, a group of friends that all like to play D&D Pretty Boys because apparently it's not fantasy and it's everybody's hot and we haven't seen you guys in a whole year.
Oh my god, it's been a year!
Wow! My name is Jamie and joining me tonight a group of heroic adventurers who don't officially have a name yet.
Oh yeah!
First of all, we have,
we earn it.
well, at the moment we have Ben as Goat and also Mercy.
First sponsor gets to name the group. Accepting bids now. Hello. Live long and prosper, everyone.
We accept quite average Deliveroo orders as sponsorship. Thank you. As Kwan.
Hello. Sorry, I wasn't expecting to go second for some reason. Happy New Year, everyone.
Luke as Arthas.
Appropriately far up the list. Hello, everyone.
Moving the way up. Eski as Pod.
Hello.
Clued as Casimir.
I was gonna say something, but I forgot what it was. Oh yeah, naming. I think we should be the Back Alley Boys, and I think that's what it should be.
Back Alley Boys.
Oh, it just sounds
How
like
do you
we're
say
enjoyers
that
of
in
anal
deep
sex,
camp?
and I don't enjoy
It
that.
does,
Yeah, that's very
yeah.
much sounds like we are for hire, I guess.
Rent Boys.
All that we enjoy
Guys,
anal.
I'm not running that campaign.
All out
I don't
man.
know what you're expecting.
Boys that
There are
boys
games
that can
on
be
Steam.
rented.
Showering with your dad simulator. Wherever you want.
Panic at the Boys.
Wait, Eski and Matt are now each other.
Have
Oh, we
they
are.
swapped?
Nice.
Oh, they have
Okay.
swapped.
And finally, special
Well,
guest
I'm
Eski.
live
No,
now.
special guest Matt Kiyamo, who is going to be playing Atlas for a couple of
Hello
sessions.
there. I feel very strange right now, but I'm here to play. It's gonna be good.
Is
And-
that an impression of Eski's character?
Yeah,
or-
yeah, I got it.
That's a lot better than mine would be.
Yeah, definitely. I liked it.
And of course, we are currently missing Aaron, aka Toad, who has gone off to important meetings as the sovereign of their race, and we wish Aaron all the best in real life, of course. Now, I don't think there are any announcements other than Happy New Year. Hello, everybody. Nice to be back. Other than that, I think we're all good.
We are all good. Yeah.
So,
First
we
thing
had
I
a
thought,
2 week.
Matt, sorry, I was gonna say was when I was thinking of saying something as Atlas was just the speech from Gladiator, but
Nice,
instead of to a
nice.
murdered wife, it would just be to a murdered self.
So-
Love
Had a 2 week break. Everyone have a good Christmas. Jump back into D&D to remind you what happened last session. Now, last session, you guys came up with a series of traps and plans to ambush Razor. You rigged some part of Reedholm to blow under gunpowder. There was a fairly fierce battle afterwards, under which many of you went down. Grudel sadly died quite quickly. Razor barely was able to escape after knocking, I think, a good 3/4 of you down with her final attack. However, in the confusion, we were very much focusing on you. There was a larger battle in which the town guard fought some of Razor's men. Atlas was part of that, and Malik snuck off and has returned with Naliska, the spy master of the Ivory Forsaken, in chains, who is currently being held in the same place Arvis was. You all took a moment, you all had a long rest, you've all rested, recuperated from an exceedingly difficult battle, you've all woken up very sore with the unfortunate news that Toad has had to leave. he has been requested to return to the Fey Court, as he has to every month, as the month picks over to Alcrest. Let me just double check it is Alcrest. I'm gonna get my calendar up. Make sure this is.
I feel like
more
it's
appropriate.
Alcrest. Those are
No,
words
it's
that Toad
going,
said.
it's going from Alcrest to First Wind.
First one.
This, yes, this is to be the month of First Wind. It is also, as you're all aware, now the 35th of Alcrest. It is going to very quickly become the month of the Preserve of the Tempest Grasp. Conditions and wind within Stormlands will likely worsen for the journey ahead. For those of you who don't remember, what this means is that flying speed is doubled. Any movement abilities effect is doubled in combat, such as Long Strider, should you choose to cast it.
Wow.
Fall damage, however, is also doubled. So please don't fall down any more long holds during this month.
Ah,
Yes, Ben.
That was your favourite thing to do, Pod.
What about jump? Is that same, like, is jump
Yes.
doubled as well? So it's like 6 times.
That's,
Damn.
you know, that's interesting.
did you say movement in general was doubled, or the
No.
spells that-
Flying in general is doubled. Movements that increase things. So if a spell or an effect was to increase your movement by 10 feet, it's now 20 feet.
Whoa.
So if a dash doubles my feet, it now quadruples it.
No, dash is an action to double your
Yeah,
current
I see that there's a hand up.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Haste. Is that also doubled?
Yeah, so haste will increase your movement speed by 10.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe
Sorry,
I
that's
should
because
take
Four
haste.
attacks.
Maybe I should take
Jesus
haste to level 5.
Christ.
No, not the whole effect is doubled. Just the added movement.
No,
But,
you
like,
know
it
what? You had a
doubles your
perfect
movement,
opportunity.
So it would quadruple your movement.
Oh,
right?
sorry, it would quadruple your movement. Sorry, it is.
I
Yeah.
think
we
I'm.
Oh, wow.
This is a
I'm
perfect
taking
opportunity
haste.
to just like bitch slap the players
Okay,
by
so
being like, yeah, it's doubled,
to-
and then doing it back to them.
No, so it won't quadruple it. It will, if your movement speed is 20, it would normally go to 40. Now it'd be 60.
Wow.
Increased it by 20, so it's increasing by that much again, not the new number again.
I got
Does
you.
that make
I
sense?
got you.
Mathematics.
We're all gamers.
rock.
We can all do this.
Maybe we should figure
Um,
out like what the damage would be if you hit someone at like Mach 5.
Oh.
Because it's
Just
now
run into
possible,
people.
right?
Right.
If you
so
like back
E
bonus-
equals MC squared is where we're going again.
That's not how that works.
No, I know. It's mass velocity, whatever. Anyway, away from physics towards my fantasy world where I decide the physics. Much was done in the preparation. The fires had to be put out. People had been prepared to be buried. You all took a victory sleep, but you've woken up battered, bruised, and the last thing we did was having Toad say their goodbyes upon leaving all of you. You all have much to contemplate, to consider, to think about. Grudel is dead. You have information you need to ask. The town is a bit in ruins. What are your plans? What are you going to do? So, with that as a little bit of a precursor, and if there are any questions about anything, we can use this opportunity. I know we've been gone for 2 weeks. Do throw them at me. But D&D Boyband, you are alone. Ilara is the only person, not currently the only NPC in the room with you. Toad has just disappeared through a portal. You're standing there. You are bruised, you are sore, but you are all alive and together.
Where is Goat currently? Goat with us? Did Goat leave?
Goat is with you currently.
Okay.
And I believe Goat explained a little bit about who he was last time, but it might be worth a refresher.
Cough. She.
Sorry, she.
We're no longer a boy band.
Oh my god, another girl. We can't have one of them.
Oh my god, it's a female.
Oh boy.
The whole party just seemed really awkward.
Turns out
Oh, no,
we're all massive insults. Every one of our characters.
Alara was already too much feminine energy for us. Okay, so we're at breakfast, right?
You're not at breakfast. You're in your rooms.
We're in our room.
You're in your room.
In our room.
Remind me where we're staying. Like, how
You are
far
all-
was it from where we were fighting to? our
You're all
groups?
about a couple of hundred yards away. You were in the Temple of Geb, under Priestess Sarah, staying with the other group. You were separate from the town. You all had quite a bit of a lay-in, I'll say, with your various bruises and beatings. You're unsure exactly at the time. This won't do at all. We've lost Mercy. We've lost Toad now. Grudel.
Our numbers have rather dwindled, haven't they? Oh, I suppose the same can be said for Malik's lot. He's lost Corin and Grudel. I suppose we're still on even footing with them, at least.
Was Grudel technically ours or theirs?
He asked to join us, didn't he?
I think we should make him an honorary member. Post-honorary.
I suppose.
A member of what, if I can ask?
You're rather lacking the context, aren't you? Of course. We're rival mercenary groups hired to take down Razor. There's us, who are Ilaras, and there's the others working for Malik. We started as 6 apiece, and now we are 4 apiece.
Huh. And you see, like, she's quite crestfallen, literally. So I suppose you'll all be putting down your swords and turning for home then.
Absolutely not. None of the rest
I don't
of you.
actually have a sword.
You're not considering that, are you? Any of you?
You don't have to worry about me, mate.
We're here for a mission, and we knew Razor would be strong, and now we know what we're up against, and we will be better next time.
Yes, all this
sorry.
is a sign to be better. And we will be.
I just assumed that you were all only in it for the money, and that with such a Pyrrhic victory, you might all be reconsidering your price.
Mate, you know that means the money gets shared between fewer people.
But you can't spend money if you're dead.
Well, that's why one of the pro tips in this kind of work, mate, is to stay alive.
I'm sure your friends thought that as well. No disrespect, man.
I'm sure he did think it. Right up until the point where he was burned to a crisp.
We all play the game, fellas. We all play the game. Death is just one dice roll away.
I think it was fairly obvious to everyone that Grudel was not the best suited of us to battle.
It's this dice, actually. Sorry.
Put that away, Jay. Put that murdering thing away. Is that the dice that killed Grudel?
No, it would have been D6s. It was a fireball.
I'm sure he can choose a new career path in the next life. Perhaps go back to singing.
Well, I suspect someone should tell the remnants of the 3.5 men that they are now just 3 men.
And what's more is the thousands still at Razor's mercy if she is left to enact her terrible will on my home.
Rest assured, we're very far from done. I am ready to set off, he says, and he's like covered in bandages and probably like one side of his hair is still a bit matted with blood, and he's absolutely not ready to set off, but he looks pretty determined to do it. I think we should leave.
Sophia ended the fight in.
I think we should go immediately, actually. We shouldn't let her get too far away.
For one, I need to do a few, let's just say, repairs before I'm in a position to go anywhere. And he points to, a number of wounds, including, a huge laceration on his left shoulder just from where an arrow had come down. And
We could walk and heal. We could do it at the same time.
Okay, a few of you can walk, and those of you who can take to the sky, I will lead them as a vanguard to make immediate chase after Razor.
And of course, we'll have to train on the way as well. We obviously can't go for a round 2 without at least improving ourselves, so we'll have to leave, train, walk, and heal at the same time. Which is fine, we can do that.
I kind of steps in and says, "Look, this is preposterous. Casimir, look at yourself."
What do you mean by that?
You're covered in bruises, dried blood still, bandages. You need to wait. We need to reassess. We need Toad. We need mercy. To all of us.
And when Malik drives his group out the gates, because he will, he doesn't care about their safety.
Then I guess
Did they
will
look like they'd be
die?
able to take down Razor without us?
That's true.
Malik's cunning. He's not an idiot.
We could sort of gatekeep their departure a little, I suppose.
We have the Spy Master. We have information. We have the upper hand. And with the upper hand, you do not rush.
Is there anyone among you who's known to the wilds? Razor already has. I make it half a day on us. The night will have been kind to her tracks. You will need someone skilled in woodcraft to make any sort of proper pursuit now.
Atlas, you do
believe
forest
we know where she's going.
Oh, am I there as well? I thought I was there.
Yes, you are. Yes,
I'm
yes,
in-
yes, sorry.
oh.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, no, if I'm there as well, I should be able to. Oh, nice to meet you. Actually, if I'm there, if I walk in and see another Aarakocra, I'll just be like, ah, there is a sight for sore eyes, and I'll go up and I'll hug Goat. It's been a while since.
She sort of puts a wing. They don't quite go around you. You're much taller, but she embraces you and lets out a kind of chitter. And she's like, "Oh, one of the mountain folk. What brings you down here, friend? You're a long way from the peaks."
Well, I'm not sure how long you've been gone, but essentially Razor is decimated my people after the giants cleared out a good amount of us. I can give you the details later, depending on how much you need to know. We might have a lot to discuss, but anyway, I'm out for blood, essentially. Ironically, against Razor. So, I mean, if we need someone to hunt her down, then I certainly can. I might have an idea of where she's going anyway.
I think we do know. Alara's quite right. She's going to Mountain's Breath. It was all over Naliska's documents when we raided Wraithward. We know where she's going, and we maybe know what she's doing. But I don't think I'd bet on it. So I suppose that's where interrogating her spy master comes in.
Just a question. I was a little busy, making sure people didn't pass on. Did we actually manage to land any of, licks on Razor?
Yes, she can die. She can be killed.
Oh, yes.
She ran, tail between her legs.
Yeah, but did we land any blows on it? It's a good question, mate. In the heat of battle, I'm not sure I can say I recall.
We did, right?
Is that a question to me or a question you're trying to remember in the thing? Because you hurt her, yeah. You saw like her bleed and stuff. You weren't like missing.
Look, next time we know what we need to look out for. We need to be able to handle her arrow magic that took us all down. We need to be able to find her when she retreats into invisibility. We need to be able to give pursuit when she tries to run again. But next time she won't have her forces with her. We can win. Of course we can.
And the very seasons is on our side. With first wind upon our wings, at our backs, we can make pursuit in a way hitherto impossible.
True.
think Goat is right. If we at the very least wait, I think her wisdom here is invaluable. If we wait for the change of the seasons, we can make up for lost time much faster and still prepare here.
Fine. Fine, but we're still training. We're all training. Each and every one of us. I don't want to see any relaxing. None.
Training? Mate, what's this training you're talking about?
Getting
You're going
better.
to teach us how to speak goblin, mate?
You're going to pick up your daggers and you're going to chuck them at trees until your aim is perfect. You're going to hide in the shadows till none can find you.
And we're going to assess, think about what we need, and wait, most of all, for Mercy Toad to come back.
Fine.
So, Razor might not have her forces, but what about the elves and the giants that she was talking about? That's what worries me.
I think you're right, Quan. We also don't want her finding the lantern.
So if I remember correctly, the giants weren't certain. The elves have been supplying her, as have some people out of Storm Harbor.
Hopefully Toad can intercede on the elven front. But we
That's
should...
how we take somebody like this down, mate. We undermine their supplies. We undermine the popularity. When it comes down to a fight, if it comes down to a fight, you turn the folks against her. One drop of poison should be enough.
Forgive me, but you mentioned a lantern, and she was perhaps intending to make for Dragon's Breath.
That's right.
Belief is my belief is that
Mountain.
she's after the Whirlwind Lantern. Is that correct? We haven't had it confirmed, but we're looking for anything of import in the Stormlands. I would have thought it would be that. Why else would she be here?
Do you remember what that is, Ben?
It's like a Aarakocra relic, right?
Yeah, from the Galfeder Enclave, it is a magical item that was told to be able to control the winds across Lukai.
So, like, she, I guess, like, kind of puts her head in a wing and, like, it's like, the lantern that you speak of is a treasure that we thought lost. And the thought of her finding it and controlling the winds of the world is surely something that must be stopped.
But why? What does she hope to gain with Lilith's cause? It makes little sense to me. What is she using her blood magic for? What are her mages trying to accomplish? Is it an activation step for the Whirlwind Lantern? We don't know.
I don't know, but it is by itself a power of life and death. She would control the weather and everything that would flow from that.
Oh, her spy master will know. Should know.
Where is he?
Malik
We should
has
probably
him.
start asking questions.
Yes. Yes, we should. If they are in a fit state, I imagine they're mourning Grudel. I say they. Nalos and Brom. I'm sure the rest of them don't give bits, but... Let's see what they're up to. You are muted, Boomadian.
I am indeed muted. Hello. Okay. Are you guys going to find the other group? Are you going to Naliska first? Which one?
Let's see what the others are up to, because Malik has Naliska, right?
Yes. So go downstairs. In the large temple of Geb. Priestess Sarah is there, as is Captain Bran, as are a couple of other people you recognize. let me just remind myself. Has been a short while. Elder Gresham is there, the owner of the tavern you guys saw. John Meyerwood, the fisherman you've spoken to, as well as a couple of villagers you don't recognize, all are congregated, talking with a couple of members of the other group while a couple of the others have breakfast. Fazul and Brom are two of the ones talking with the group, which leaves Nalos, Corin dead, and Taloran having breakfast. Malik is missing.
What's the mood?
Somber. And what's everyone's passive insight?
Passive insight.
12.
Pretty decent.
9.
18, apparently.
No.
Anybody higher than 14?
Yeah, I'm 18.
Yes. Oh, passive
Well,
insight.
13.
Sorry.
Passive insight, cool. Eski, I'll send you a message.
Got high passive investigation, which of course is useless.
You can investigate their faces.
Okay. As you calm down, Nalos and Warren kind of wave a little bit from the table. Fazul kind of looks up, then gets back, runs to do anything, and Priestess Sarah comes over. You've stirred. Hi. How are you all feeling? You all look a little worse for wear, but
I feel fine.
anything I can be of assistance with?
Who is this?
Priestess Geb of Sarah. Priestess Sarah of
Priestess
Geb. the owner of the
Geb.
temple. Priestess Geb.
Geb.
Can I quickly ask Jamie? So, Taloran is a blood hunter trying to stamp out the undead, yeah? And I'd been keeping myself as a necromancer secret from him right up until that last battle. Does he now look at me like he wants to stab me, or what's?
So, if only somebody had
Wow,
high enough
Alice.
insight to work it out, that would be great.
Right.
You can roll an active insight check if you wish,
I
if that's
think-
something Casimir would be
I
worried
think
about.
he's actively concerned about that one, so I'm going to roll it.
In the meantime,
It's even worse. It's a 6.
Pod kind of nudges Quan and points kind of like over towards Bron, who's just staring at him, looking very upset and angry. I don't think he's very happy with you. I don't know why. Thought I'd point it out. He keeps looking.
Are you just whispering this loudly in front of them? Or...
Yeah, I mean, not so loudly. It depends how quiet the room is, really. But, he's leaning in as he says each of these things. But he is also very obviously looking between Bron.
It's that don't look
while
but, and you
talking.
just turn the whole way around and stare.
Don't look but.
Okay, so
Gee.
Casimir, what did you roll on your insight?
6.
Just while you're doing that. 6. No, you have no idea. Taloran just seems to look at you, kind of go back to his food.
I give him a cordial
Go
smile.
back to Quan and Poddo.
Well, their friend has just died. I imagine that they're just quite upset and, well, I imagine it's upsetting that everyone in our group has survived, probably because we looked after one another.
But we are
Wow.
missing
They
2
weren't
people.
so lucky. Well,
They don't
yeah,
know that
but
they didn't die.
they're okay. Well, nobody saw Toad die, so I'm sure the assumption is that he's fine.
I just got the feeling they didn't really like Grudel.
Really? Do you think?
We know that
That's not sarcastic, by the way.
We know that Fazul and Taloran bullied the shit out of him, but I think the others
Yeah,
liked
told
him.
me a few times that the rest of the party was not particularly kind to him. And he seemed genuine. I would ask him myself, but I can't speak to Ash.
Yes. Well, I'm sure everything's fine. I mean, like, why didn't you go over and ask him if you think there's something wrong?
Great idea. Pod strides over to Bron, sits down next to him. Oh, I'm sorry about Grudel. yeah. So rough.
Bron kind of looks down and kind of like a little bit sad and says, "It happens in war. Right, this is what we signed up for, but yeah." And he kind of chinks his water as if it's wine and downs it.
I mean, I don't know if it's. I don't know how aware he would be, but I'm pretty sure Pod brought Brom back from the brink of death 3
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. He says, "I appreciate your efforts." Sounds as if somebody was holding back and kind of looks up, staring directly at Quan.
I don't think anyone was holding back. Those
Captain
arrows were
Brand
nasty.
here turns to Captain Brand, was just regaling me with stories of Quan's heroics, healing abilities.
He's quite heroic, yes. I mean, he valiantly fought alongside us all. Almost died himself. Well, all
Do
of
I
us
hear
almost died.
this?
Yeah, how
Yeah,
loudly
yeah,
is this
this
being
is
being
said?
said,
Yeah,
like
this is
that,
loud.
yeah.
This is loud.
And is Bran there?
Yeah, Brand's just like like smiling, like, yes, he was very impressive. Brand's like, absolutely. When we were fighting together on the outskirts of Abaddon's Empire, Quan would run in, and like as he swung with his sword, flames would fly from the heavens, and he brought people back from the brink of death, even sometimes from beyond death. Sometimes, from just staring daggers. Didn't feel like showing up yesterday.
Well, in my defense, he was quite far away, and you probably know that Paladin's abilities are quite. He just looks really awkward, like he doesn't know what to say. Not great in range.
We do need to find
I'm
a way to
sorry for
close
your
the
loss.
distance next time. Also, she went invisible at one point.
If I recall, Brom, it was all actually owes Quan his life. After all, he did heal him from the brink of death, so no, I wouldn't say he was holding back.
So looks up and I suppose I owe you another one. Paladin.
Another
Brom.
what? Sorry.
Just another one. Just another one.
Another punch in the face. Like
Another punch in the face.
Another spar.
There's only one of you I've punched in the face, and I enjoyed that. He looks at Casimir.
that's not true.
Looked in the face outside of practice.
Yeah.
Right.
And they deserved it, I'm sure you can all agree.
Don't
Brom
let me
just kind of
keep
goes-
monopoly on your punches. Goodness, please share the love.
Share the load. Brom just sits down and looks at the thing and says, "You ran past him, I saw you." Kind of stares directly at Quan.
And past who?
Grudel, he was lying on the floor.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't recall where Grudel's ashes were on the battlefield.
That's
Is
fine.
that
That's
true?
fine.
Is that
Yes.
true?
Ooh.
Yeah, you ran past
With
down
the keen
Grudel.
mind feat, I imagine they could corroborate that one, but Casimir keeps his lips firmly shut. Well, Brom, you took quite a few hits to the head, didn't you? I don't imagine your recollection is particularly clear of the fight, given you spent most of it eating dirt.
Bran just puts his hand on Quan's shoulders. I didn't tell you those stories to diminish what Quan did. You fought, you won, you defended Reedhome. I'm sure you all gave it your all. And Quan, I'm sad I was on the other side and I didn't see you in all of your magnificence. The word is probably too far, but that's fine.
Can I insight check? Bran is this?
Yeah.
Yeah. 15 minus 1, 14.
14. Bran is genuinely like
This is a lot.
clearly has a lot of respect for Quan. Magnificence was too far a word.
This
but,
is
like,
a lot.
yeah,
sweet.
it's very impressive of him.
That's very sweet. That's nice of him.
Can I try and
Look.
step in to dismiss any tension? Like, if you want to go,
Go for it.
Quan. Okay.
Go for
Yeah,
it.
I just want to step over like, this is no way to talk after a victorious battle. You're all far too down. You know, yes, a comrade fell, but his sacrifice wasn't in vain. It could have been one of you instead. You should focus on celebrating his achievements rather than admonishing any wrongdoings that happened in the heat of battle. Besides, you live for Zul, you owe me a round.
Fazul kind of turns away from the others and says, I think I owe all of you quite a lot. As does the town. But you see he's heavily bruised, as is everybody else on the other side. There is anything. There is one victory of the day. Turns out, says, we've just been discussing exactly what to do with our little prisoner.
Ah, we were having much the same discussion. We thought we might find what state you were in, or where Malik's holding him, so I don't imagine we'll get access without him. I imagine that's where Malik is now.
Well, I think so. Malik's hidden in the same place he hid Avas, below this chapel.
He's closed the door, hasn't he?
Yes. And for the matter, Brahm. Yes, he's closed the door. As for the matter, Brahm, as Casimir rightfully points out, Quan brought me back quite a few times. If it was holding back, then I didn't see it.
Well, it was
Did
just
I?
the once. Don't exaggerate.
It-
So we're
it
starting
was
to,
twice. I thought it was
we're
twice.
starting to
No.
sound
Oh,
like
no, you said
Captain
twice.
Brand.
Oh no, sorry. That was Pod who brought back Brahm.
I brought
Yeah.
people back
Yeah.
quite a few times.
Don't
Yeah, certainly
exaggerate,
healed
Saul,
me
really.
the brain.
That's...
Well,
It's fine. It's not that good.
I mean,
we all got
you
hit
know,
in
don't-
we all got hit in the head a few times.
I mean, don't let
could
me
I
stop
have-
you next time.
It's fine. Quan, could I just have a general charisma check from you?
You got this, Paladin.
By the way, I do want to say that, if any of you would rather be dead, I'm more than happy to leave you dying next time. The world is a cruel place and the afterlife is not that frightening. If you wish to die.
You don't have to worry
I mean,
about me.
Oh, and of course
Right.
you'll be dying at some point, so that's absolutely fine.
And if
I mean,
any
you
of
won't die once, but
you-
you'll die again, and
Right, if
Yeah.
any of you would like an extension on your tenure of life, I can provide 24 hours if that's your wish. Just say the word, and either Paul or
I
will
don't
see
think
to
you
it.
should take that offer, but I would advise against it.
Why not?
Casimir, I'd be quite interested to see if you'd be able to raise me after I died.
That's a very good point. Well, when you die again, Atlas, I shall try to resurrect you again. In the name of
Let's
Are you
science.
not
Are you sure you
try
just
to
would
die.
rather just
what was
die?
your roll?
Like,
12.
Well, okay.
I
Deal with
think
that
you'd be
later.
much more happy if you were just dead, to be honest.
I mean, probably.
Goat turns to Atlas and sort of in a low kind of Twitwoo voice says, "What do they mean again?"
I'll speak back in a Twitwoo kind of owly hooty voice. Alex, I'll explain in a second. I'm something has happened to me. Maybe when actually no time like the present. I have perished fighting against Razor and been brought back into this world by I think it's by Bahamut.
She like takes a step back, but then as you say Bahamut, kind of like eases a bit. It's like, so you're one of the living dead.
I suppose you could say it like that. I guess somewhere in between life and death. Not undead. I think living dead is probably a good estimation. But I don't know how long I'll remain in this form. I might, my soul might trickle out the bottom of me and into the earth the second Razor dies. I kind of hope.
Are you two currently speaking in Auran?
We are.
This is
We
this
are.
is
Join
bird
the,
speak.
Join the Wind Club.
So y'all just tweeting
Yeah.
at each other?
Hearing is just
As if it just side eyes this conversation.
Yeah, for real. Like, just like, I don't mean to interrupt the two of you. It's kind of fucking annoying what you're doing there. If you could go get something a bit more communal.
Arvis, you hear? Arvis.
Oh, I'm sorry. I actually don't speak the common tongue. I have to use magic because I don't have the biology to converse with you. So
Well, then use your fucking magic then, mate. Eh? What's wrong with that, mate?
She's using her magic.
that's why you can understand me.
Well,
Keep talking, mate.
tweeting aside, Naliska. Is he in a state to be interrogated?
So kind of shrugs. Perhaps. Why don't we all go and see?
Let's do it. Sooner we can leave, or at least start training, the better I'll feel. I hate this sitting around.
Yay. Interrogation party.
Well,
Did anyone
Um,
collect Grudel's ashes
just-
on the way out? I wouldn't want him to get trapped in the Shadowfell.
Nalos says, his body, little child though it was, I've been prepared on his funeral rites. And Florence steps in and says, yes, I knew a little bit of who he worshipped. We've begun preparing the body.
Oh,
It will be
fantastic.
this afternoon. I'm sure he would have appreciated you being there.
well, he did want to join our group instead, so yes, I think we ought to.
Says, he's the only one of us to, well, Corin as well, but I doubt she counts. I'll have to let my father and Leora know.
Yes.
It's at this point that Bran and Priestess Sarah kind of say, there's a lot to go on, and town needs thoroughly repairing. I appreciate all you've done, but a decent chunk of it was destroyed in that blast.
Not as
And the
much of
fire
it
that
would
raged
have
afterwards.
been if Malak had his way, I'll say that.
No, and I'm grateful that you let us in on the plan, so we knew not to be in the area. It kind of gives us all a little bit of a glance at that point. Bran will say something to
So
Quan. but-
what you're trying to say, mate, is you're looking to reward us for saving your town.
Kind of looks over at the smouldering wreckage of Reedholm with the barely functioning fishing ships. Elara steps in and says, No. We're on a mission. This was part of that. Your gratitude is
Yes,
reward
of
enough.
course, we're getting paid for that mission, mate.
Only on success, Arvis. We have not succeeded yet.
Mate, come on.
No, it's
Arvis,
true.
you will be
we
paid in the
haven't.
fullness of time. And Bran will walk up and extend out his hand to Quan.
He will what now? Sorry.
So Bran has walked up and took out his hand to shake yours.
Oh, Quan takes his hand. Gives it a hearty
As
shake.
you clasp it, Quan's eyes roll back, and you will see this.
Oh no.
And
Oh no. We
Having
can't
an
have
athletic
breakfast without
Quan, from your perspective, you just clasp hands with Bran at the end of a completely different battle. You feel a similar level of fatigue, of tired, of ache, and of satisfaction of victory. But you're surrounded by a campfire. You can smell meat beginning to roast as it gets turned. You can hear laughter, the clinking of jugs, the drinking of merriment of soldiers far off. And as you and Bran clasp hands in a victory well fought, you turn and you begin to go to celebrate with others. some of which, as you look out on this field, this plain, you don't recognize it. But clearly, this isn't the first time you've been celebrating with Bran post a victory. And almost as quickly as it happens, 2-3 seconds later, Quan doesn't pass out until this time, but Quan kind of lands, and Bran kind of starts to goes, "Are you okay?"
Fine, thanks. Yeah, my... think I just remembered something. I remember us... It's like deja vu. I remember us doing exactly the same thing.
Oh. Well, describe it to me. Is any landmarks I could help with? There was a mountain far off in the distance, but nothing really immediately to your thing. You were kind of still a bit in shock.
Not as much as a landmark, but mountains, a fire, looking over a field. Does that make any sense to you?
No, but how about we go for... bring everyone else, but how about we all go for, after maybe Grudel's funeral, we go for a drink, see if we can do anything else to trigger your memories.
Well, what are you laughing at?
51st dates,
Literally,
guys.
Fuck you.
nothing sexual. Nothing sexual in any of this.
I didn't feel that.
You just had to ruin the fucking moment of camaraderie, didn't you, Claude? You just...
I'm sorry. I said new year, new me, but I lied.
Why don't we go and get drunk, have sex, see if you remember anything? Not what he says.
Well, I would appreciate that, thank you. And hopefully we'll have time. He kind of looks around to the... What are you laughing at?
It's just the segue from Jamie saying that too. I'd appreciate that.
I'm done.
Okay.
Shake
You
hands.
kind of clasp your hand, shakes it, and says, and if there's anything relevant, turns the rest, if there's anything relevant from that rat, I'd appreciate knowing.
You're here, Bran. Thank you so much, honestly, for participating. We couldn't have won without you.
Goat walks up to Captain Bran and kind of puts a wing, like a clawed hand on his arm, and says, "Now you have suffered, as my people have suffered. We are brothers and sisters in the destruction of Razor. Let us be united in this.
And also,
You have a friend in the Gale Feathers.
and anything we can do? There's not many of us here, and not much left, but nothing binds us like battle. Bran Blackwood at your service, and the rest of you.
You may call me Gust of a Typhoon over jagged peaks on an empty sky."
Well, it's a bit of a mouthful. Gust of a typhoon, jagged piece across an empty sky. Is that right? Is that right?
Yeah.
That's correct.
You can call me Brad. Thank you. So, the rest of you, everybody, make your way outside. Lauren, Rom, and Nalos all remain. Azul comes with, and you kind of knock on the door, I believe, and Malik opens it a crack. You see one slightly fur-colored amber eye peeking out. Up already? I thought you need at least a couple more hours. Fine. Kind of the door opens, and behind Malik now you can see chained to a chair with probably slightly too many chains is the elf you will remember, looking slightly less haughty. Slightly, because of a cut above one eye, you can see kind of blood trickling down, a little bit of blood on the back of the head where clearly he was knocked out. eyes ever so slightly disconcerted, getting used to the light, and kind of winces a little bit. Sits Naliska. Well, come in, I suppose.
What do you mean it's early, Malik? What's the time actually, dear?
It's probably like 9:10. He just looks at the state of all of you and is like, I thought you had a couple of hours to heal, bandage a bit more.
Is Brom here?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
Listen,
Klein is
ready?
gonna elbow Pod and just say, talking of people not bearing the load.
I don't understand the reference.
Well, Malik wasn't there, right? Malik wasn't in the fight with Razor.
Malik wasn't at the
Yeah.
fight.
Oh
no.
yeah, he wasn't. Sorry, I
Yeah.
completely forgot about that. I just assumed he was, and he was just one of the many people that got one shot.
Yes, Malik. Let's hope what you've brought for us makes up for your lack of participation. Justifies your not
Podley's
being
over
with
to one.
us.
What the cat dragged in, if you will.
Because of
He looks straight he looks straight at you, Pod, and kind of somewhere between a purr and a growl. I don't appreciate that.
Malik is so funny. I love him. He's just a little cat. A grumpy little cat.
Podrick. Name's not Podrick. I contributed plenty. You had the fireworks, and if we'd have done my plan, Razor would be dead, rather than running.
Maybe. She might have been. She spotted the barrels almost immediately. I don't think she would have set foot in Reed without us. Anyway, we're talking in hypotheticals. Let's talk in literals. Naliska, I am so excited to see you and talk to you this time, not the chef.
Kind of winces a little bit and spits a tiny bit of blood and says, one of my finer moments. Kind of winces.
That was one of your finer. Oh dear. Standards are
Well,
low here.
Funnier, certainly.
So, are you going to be forthcoming, or are we going to have to get nasty?
He kind of winces and says, so here's how you think this is going to go. You're going to threaten me, beat me up. I'm going to tell you everything. And at the end, I'm going to be at your mercy. Is that roughly how you want this to go?
I'd rather you just told us and we skipped the beating up part.
Well, I prefer to skip the end. So, let's treat this as a negotiation where I have something you want, and you have something I want. You want my knowledge, my information, and I want to go free. Shall we discuss prices?
I walk up and claw him across the face.
Do you want to make an attack roll?
Oh my goodness.
Trust me.
Yeah, I do.
You can have advantage because there's no way you're missing.
20.
20, yeah, it hits. You see it rake straight across as he's able to move and kind of digs in perhaps a little bit. You see it kind of boning, almost chucking at some teeth as it gets close down there. And kind of as Goat pulls this way, you see blood immediately begin to spurt down and train down. And Alistair kind of coughs up a little bit.
And I scream in his face, "This is for the children of thunder!" And I slash him across the other cheek again.
Okay, both sides, you can refer it, but covered in blood, and this time, Naliska kind of is coughing up blood. It's pooling a little bit underneath his chair.
Juan crosses his arms as he watches this and turns to Nalaska and says, I think what my friend means is we want your information and you would like your life. So I think the price, well, it's already on the table, no? Which one would you prefer?
Casimir looks at Quan with just newfound appreciation. He's silently
coughs-
sparkle.
Coughs a little bit. Quan can make an intimidation roll with an advantage based on
Yeah.
Goat's activity.
Oh wow.
That's a natural 20.
That's the sexiest thing I've ever seen.
Right.
Guy
It looks
gonna
up at
piss
you,
himself, 100.
and it looks at you,
Amazing.
and you look at him, and you, Quan, remember your memory of this man. You remember something else about him as well, and there is something in your eye, the way you're looking at him, that causes something inside Naliska, something that he didn't expect, to be scared, and he recoils ever so slightly. Okay. You guys feel up a little bit.
Goat will full on try and cut this man to ribbons unless someone stops her.
I
Okay.
probably will try and stop you if you're
Yeah.
going more.
Yeah. So like claws in the legs, arms, torso, death by 1,000 cuts. She's feral on this motherfucker.
Okay, I would say after a couple of scratches, you guys managed to pull Goat off, and Left Ghost wants to make some kind of save throw to stop that.
Yeah. Let go of me!
Let's be
You
civil.
don't know what he's done.
We know what he's done, but we need his knowledge to stop Razor. We could at least do with it. We can have him after, maybe.
No, I want the
Also,
pain of his blood.
No, they say torture is a very ineffective way of getting the truth out of people, and they'll just say whatever.
He's kind of like bleeding himself. He looks slightly more scared of Quan than he does of Crow at this point. That looks like... Oh. You can all appreciate a need for assurances.
Goat kind of turns around in Kwan's arms and is like, please, Kwan. I bought this. My people bought this with the bones of our children. Let me go.
One truthful answer to a question is my peace offering, or a show of good faith. No lies, no half-truths, no deception.
You're offering pennies now, let's go. One's pretty pathetic considering the situation you're in. 3.
I'm offering
And
one
if I'm honest with you,
with
mate,
no
some of
assurance.
us here can't wait for you to dissatisfy us.
Kwan, please. Let me go.
I'm offering something for nothing. No assurances, one question. Beyond that, why would I tell you anything if you're going to kill me anyway? And he looks directly at Quan and back at Goat, but almost entirely exclusively at Quan.
You have my word as a paladin of Tyr that should you tell us everything we want to know, you will be safe for a while. Unless you do something stupid. And Quan looks over to Goat. I guess, like, not as far as pleadingly, but, like, you know, he's not dismissing Goat's fury. And he turns to Goat and says, I think the most important thing is that this doesn't happen again, so we need to make sure that we have all the information we need. Trust me, I won't be holding you back when we fight Razor.
Yes, Goat,
She
save
sort
your
of goes
fury.
slack, and you see a couple of big, kind of pearly tears roll down the feathers, and she sort of limp steps back, unmoving, but doesn't do anything.
I'll put a
What's
reassuring
that
hand on
Mm.
Goat's shoulder.
He's an owl, right?
Hmm.
Oh, she's just like, "Mm."
Go ahead.
All right.
Ask.
Okay, out of character. We have a whole list of questions. What's the most important thing to know? Is it her overall goal? I guess it is that, right? What does she want to do with the Whirlwind Lantern? How is that important to Lilith? What's the blood magic for?
Oh,
I mean,
can I?
I guess my question is, Jamie, like, we have an extended period of time here, right? Like,
Yeah, you have.
and if he thinks that he's safe, if he believes me, surely we could sit here for a couple of hours just going backwards and forwards and asking any questions that come to mind, right? So in that
I will.
sense, do we
I'll
have
ask you
like
for a persuasion check with advantage based on your previous rolls, and we can do. I'd prefer to do this in character, but you guys just ask your questions, and I'll give the information as if it's spread over hours, right? But yes, you do have like this guy is at your mercy. He's not escaping. You can choose to do whatever you want.
All right, now, Liska, let's start with the fruits of
Uh,
your own writing.
Sorry, advantage roll from Quan persuasion. I'd say based on the two things that have happened, actually, you may have triple advantage for the intimidation roll,
Triple?
ghost behavior, and the natural 20.
Wow.
Can I, out of character, Jamie, have let them know that that Razor is also collecting other Aarakocra artifacts as well, like
Yep.
other than the lantern?
I rolled a natural one.
But with triple advantage.
I rolled a 1, then a 7, then a
Oh
2.
my god.
Oh, so what's the
Sai.
7 plus?
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
10.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, we have one question, right?
You have one freebie. His
And
other
then let's
answers
go
will
from-
depend.
let's
So
go from
ask your
there.
freebie.
All right, now, Liska, let's start with something you yourself told us in your own writings. Mountain's Breath. We know she's there. We know she's after the lantern. What is she trying to do with what she's collecting? The lantern, the other artifacts, the blood magic, how does it all fit together?
Mariska smiles. It's a big question, and I guess I'll need to break it down. But to be the simplest version of that question, it's a shame your shapeshifter isn't here. She wants to kill Savras.
To end his plan, is that it?
His plan.
Davros' plan.
Well, I imagine it all unravels after he dies. You know how much gardening it takes.
So the artifacts, the blood magic, all comes together in what, a weapon, a capability that lets her kill Savras.
Presumably.
You don't know? Or are you being obtuse?
Obtuse.
So, listen, Naliska, you want to keep your life, and here's the thing. There are many reasons why it would be quite easy for me to kill you and extract the information from you after your death.
Oscar winces. Possibly. Probably not.
You can be as obtuse as you like, but if I get bored, I'm sending Goat on you. So don't bore me. Give us what we want.
I'm gonna cough a little bit, okay? Your question too broad. Break it down. Individual elements.
I
Right.
think we ask why the blood magic fits into it. That feels like an outlier to me.
Sure. Let's start with the blood magic. What's that for? We know she's storing power, but why?
It's the only effective weapon that not only destroys somebody, but removes them from whatever energy plan weave exists otherwise.
So she's storing enough blood magic to kill a god.
Yes, that one.
That would need a lot of blood magic.
A lot of
That's
dead citizens of the
very,
Tom.
very
Well,
concerning.
that's why we needed to figure out how to store it rather than have them around.
At this goat goes for. No, let's go again.
I'm sorry, but we don't PvP in this house, but a hold person might happen if you.
No. I'm going to assume.
Yeah.
If you're actively trying to hold goat back, this is successful unless goat does anything extraordinary, and then we went to PvP. But at this point, if you're trying to hold goat back, that's fine.
Yeah, but you see her as
Yeah.
it says, people. You see she goes again.
Don't save your fury.
like with just like as a thing though, like the natural 20 was like
Intimidation.
the promise that we would keep him safe with goat off him if he wasn't being stupid and if he gave us what we wanted to know. So like that, I feel
He
like
is-
that threat
yeah.
is very much.
Yeah. And I don't think he's not giving you what you want so far. He's telling you the answers.
Okay, that's the blood magic. Then answer the rest of the question. The artifact, the Aarakocra items, the lantern. What are they for?
Most of them just are pointing relics. The lantern is what we have ascertained is crucial. The belief or plan is that during peak of first wind, the winds would be strong enough using the lantern to direct them to charge the stored energy at a god.
Right, so you need the stored magic and something to send it at Savras with. That's what the lantern does.
Consider the magic, the ammo cannon, so the cannonball, the lantern, the cannon. I'm sure you can see where the allegory goes.
Do you have a lantern, or are you still digging for it?
Digging, but with news to return swiftly.
There's a few dig sites. Mountain's Breath is one of them.
Mountain's Breath is where we were recalled from, too, sorry.
So we can assume it's been found there. Fine. When you say we were recalled, is that who? Her remaining generals? Who will be there?
Myself, Razor, where are my things? Idril and Amroth, Phelan, twins. Sable.
The twins.
You'll recognize twins, kind of sort of thing, as the two that performed the blood magic within Reed Home initially. Gron, Sable, Gron, Idril, and Amroth. I suspect are making their way back quickly too.
Nazca, do you have any way that you get in contact with Razor on the regular?
At this point, Malik smiles and kind of says, I think these are his assistants, and produces 3 separate sending stones in his hand.
Ah. It's good to know for later. Very fun. I'm assuming she has captives at Mountain's Breath.
Yes.
That'll be your people, Atlas.
Yes. Well, I searched some of the dig sites and my people aren't at them there elsewhere. I've been to Zephyr's Rest, Mountain's Breath, and Mistral Peak, where Razor was most active, and I didn't find any of them.
Right.
Which leads me to believe the worst, unfortunately.
That or they've all been collected to one location. Let's hope for that for your.
Well, if I can't bring them salvation, I'll bring them retribution.
And speaking of our shape change in Alaska, the rest of their order, the Weavers. What is the Dragonborn? What was his name? Andaraxel. What was his role in all of this?
He infiltrated our camp. I was taken unaware. Honestly, shape changes are difficult. We received a visitor on behalf of Razor and her god, who recognized and charmed, dominated, I'm unsure, but did something to bring him on side.
Tell me why you did it. Tell me why you burned the chicks.
Sighs. There was no reason to. I didn't order it.
But you were
Served
there,
no
you
grander
fucking monster.
purpose. And if it had been up to me, it wouldn't have happened. But
You were
there was
just
no reason
taking
to stop
orders.
it. I didn't do anything, but there was no reason to stop it. No reason to act otherwise.
DM, can I insight check this geezer?
Yep.
No reason?
Can I also insight check the same
That's an 18.
response?
What are you trying to
shit.
insight?
Oh, God, this-
See if he's telling the truth about his scene. He's being direct or trying to obfuscate for his own survival.
18. Yeah, what are the other rolls? And what are
I
you
got a
trying to
7.
insight?
I think I'm too angry.
Too angry, yep. And Atlas?
Insight, yeah. Insight. 16.
16. So for both of you, Alaska seems broadly, this all lines up, it makes sense. Very nervous, more of Quan than of Go, but definitely shifting away. I would say that final one, there's a slightest hint of what might be considered regret, but he's a very, like, you don't get the sense that it keeps him up at night. I think the broader question is, why do I serve Razor? Perhaps that's a better way of expressing that particular question. Not a believer. I'm not. I don't agree with Lilith, but I've seen enough of. I don't want everything I do to be within boundaries set by someone else. I don't want to have everything decided before I was born. And I certainly don't agree with all of this ending one day simply because that's how it's supposed to go. So yes, people, innocents died. And if that could have been avoided, that would have been the path I took. But we are all the products of our choices and our regrets. I believe this is better tomorrow.
Well, you've been terribly hasty in exacting your vision of world freedom, but fine. After all, don't you have quite the sizable following? Aren't they all suitable targets or candidates for blood magic? I really struggle to see why you had to kidnap people who had no wish to be part of it.
Some
Surely
of
there
them
are enough
are.
people like yourself who would throw themselves down on the altar of winds to bring about Savras.
I didn't know how many we needed. Maybe we were all part of the plan in the end. I didn't get that sense.
Awfully convenient ideology that allows you to impose your will on others.
Doesn't everyone see themselves as the hero?
My family. What were they then? Just collateral damage?
There's nothing I can say to you. What do you say to anybody who is a collateral of war?
Oh, there was no war.
There
It
is
was
a
a
war.
fucking massacre. Still see your
Can't see.
face when I close my eyes to roost. Through the flames. You clap the elf on the shoulder and smile. In the background, the sound of cracking eggs and shrieks.
I told you that each one of them died so that Lukai can live, and that was true. Would it change anything? Would your anger matter? Or are you so self-righteous and convinced in your own purpose and vengeance that there is nothing that would have justified those actions? If so, then we're not different. You would have done the same simply for your own reasons. To spare me the piety and the self-righteousness.
You fail to see the trees for the forest, Naliska.
I see well enough, and I will not be judged.
I fear we could talk ideologies all day, but that won't help us kill Razor. What will, Naliska, is a little more help from you. You're good at drawing. We give you a piece of paper. Can you draw us an outline of Mountain's Breath? Where the captives are, where the forces are?
Where the traps are.
I'm sure I could.
And when Razor inevitably falls, what then? You'll continue to fight for the future of Lakai?
He kind of takes a second to think of himself. I'm not sure.
You'll have time to ponder it. And there's one more thing. The Sulphur Syndicate. Why were you kidnapping their emissary? There's some infernal dealings we should know about.
Genuinely surprised by that question. Of course, that's why Lara was here. You rescued him too. I consider that my own side project, separate from Razor. I wanted to understand from a fate binder if there was any truth in what they were saying. I didn't get my answers, but I thought one would be useful to have on hand. Very useful having somebody who can sign deals that will be personally enforced by a god should somebody break them.
Imagine so. Yes, unfortunately, you don't have him anymore. Sorry to say. You underestimated us. And you've overestimated Razor. Choose your allegiances more carefully.
I have one
Has
thing
yet
I
to
would
be
like to
seen.
ask. The Goliath clan you raided not too long ago. And under the dig sites, where are they?
Everybody has been reallocated to Mountain's Breath upon the understanding that is where the lantern is. Everybody.
Well, that's where I'll be going.
So that was helpful. You have upheld your end of the bargain. Of course, give us a few days to ensure that what you said is correct. There may be other questions.
Malik says, regardless, he is my prisoner. I'll be deciding what happens to him. Pointedly stares at Goat.
Goat begins to shuffle round the back of Quan and move over to speak to Malik.
Yes.
I wonder, you seem like the kind of man who appreciates the value of a thing. What is this evil monster's life to you? Perhaps I can pay it.
Puts his hands together. What's your offer, little one?
Favors? Blood?
Oh,
Money?
I doubt there's much you can do that's worth more than the information in this man's head to me. I'll trade it for the lantern.
Wait, that's not audible.
Or it is audible. Or look to Arvis. Or your assistance in killing Razor under my name.
Yes, you are a little thin on the ground in terms of your forces, aren't you, Malik? I imagine you could do with all the help you could get.
Someone who knows the Stormlands. Somebody who understands battle. Someone who's proved themselves. When Razor's dead, and I'm in charge. You do whatever you like with this man.
Good, make no mistake, Malik was prepared to blow up Reed Home to kill Razor. In terms of
I agree.
proportional violence, you won't find it here.
Price matters not to me, Casimir. Although I appreciate your concern. I'll pay what I have to see this criminal punished.
Very well. A deal. You stretch out a paw towards your wing.
Claw, grasp it.
His wing. When Razor is dead, he's yours.
Goat looks over to Nalaska and is like, let's stay then. Make no mistake, I'll be watching.
And based on the time, and we'll leave it very quickly there. It's very clear, no warning. We'll be back at 9:10, a 15-minute break. For everything else that's going to happen over the next couple of days, and anything else you want to ask Nadiska/Malik.
Oh boy.
Catch you on a bit.
Thanks, DM. See y'all in a little bit. Bye. We are back. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So, we were in the middle of torture and investigation. I'd say more assault and questions. I believe there were 1 or 2 left for Naliska, the spy master of Razor. However, Malik so far has staked a claim on this as his prisoner, although a deal has been struck that they will be goats if and when Razor dies under Malik's name. but I believe there are one or two more questions before we move on to any other parts of the session. So, you were all still in the room. That deal has been agreed. You're all going to leave. However, what did anybody want to ask?
Not necessarily a question, but I do want to just go up to Naliska and just kind of look him over and like put my hands on his collar and like just sort whatever he's wearing out, and in the meanwhile slip a small little wooden medallion that I've carved into the folds of his clothes.
Okay. Sure.
If
Yeah. In a way he wouldn't notice.
yeah, try. I don't want him to realize that I've done it if possible.
Okay, sleight of hand check.
Yep. Dirty 20.
Very nice. Okay. You kind of straighten around, he kind of looks back at you. Anything from anybody else? Otherwise, I will say you close the door. Malik still kind of slams it behind. A successful endeavor. We know that the plan is to kill a god. What they're using everybody for. To provide a map. Most productive, wouldn't you all say?
It was productive, Malik, I'll give you that. So I suppose the question now is to try and... Well, not try. To know what we're going to do, to know when we're leaving. We can use those sending stones of Naliska's to pretend to be him, tell Razor we're delayed, but Naliska, am coming. He doesn't need to know that he's been kidnapped.
Well, from what I heard, we have 36 days.
Yes, we do.
The peak of Alcrest. Sorry, First Wind. Sky's Day. The final one of the month. 36 days from now. That is when her plan must be done, or else she must wait another year. And it's the 35th of Alcrest today. We have until the 35th of next month.
And how long is the travel to Mountain's Breath? 2 weeks?
Yes.
How long's a week in this world, Jamie?
12 days.
12 days. The 24 days to travel.
That's a long time.
So we have 12 days leeway.
Question is what to do with them. What allies can we gather? What strength can we muster? We probably ought not leave it to the day off. I'm not much of a procrastinator.
I was planning to stay for 5 days.
I think we stay for a few days as well.
Don't wish to travel together.
Oh, why not? Why not?
I disagree with your methods.
Is that echoed
Doesn't slow us down, man.
Is that echoed by the rest of your group, Malik?
Yes.
Even after that
Inside.
fight? Yeah.
Yeah, inside check, go for it.
Wait, is Fazul here? He came with us, right?
He did, yeah, he's here.
Oh, he did, yeah.
Really? After that fight, you want to travel alone?
Malik. So what's the insight check rolls, and then I'll address the question.
If Fazul's there, I wanted to insight check him.
Okay. Go for it. So 14 on Malik. Insight roll on Fazul.
12.
12. Anybody else
on
rolling?
Malik, 14 on Fazul.
Sure.
18 on Malik.
18 on Malik. So I will say you will get the sense. I will say that based on all of those rolls, you can all get the sense, which is that Malik has decided. Malik answered too quickly. There was no consideration. Malik is like, yep, the others agree because I command it. That's what you get. You get the sense that Fazul, who got the highest on Fazul? 14? 14 on Fazul. Fazul looks a tiny bit sheepish, tiny bit embarrassed. Just failed a couple of times. Fazul is listening to Malik as a result.
Right.
And what about our methods do you disagree with, Malik? Why stay 5 days? Surely you could set off before us if you really don't want to be seen with us or require our help.
Let us assess where we are right now. Quan. It is Quan, is it?
Yes?
Good. Razor has escaped. However powerful she was, she ran away. Hit a god. Back to her troops. Except she could have been a pile of mouldering cinders, collapsed between rock, and all it would have taken. Listen to me.
Or perhaps all
Malik.
it would have taken was for you to be there, Malik.
You're delusional if you think she would have walked into your trap. Truly. Absolutely
Fuck.
brain-meltingly, wildly off course, Malik.
Far too
Hate to break
focused
it
on
to
the
you, mate.
what-ifs and maybes.
Oh,
I'm-
absolutely. And your
On
methodology,
results.
very sloppy.
I'm focused on results, and what I've got us is information, and what you've got us is half a blown up town, most of my resources gone, and my bard dead.
Well,
Maybe if you were there, mate, you wouldn't have lost your bard.
Or I would have died amongst all the rest of you.
I thought you were meant to be competent. I doubt you would have died if you're as good as you make yourself out to be.
No, I believe him.
Competency
Grudel
isn't.
was his superior.
Competency is not about fighting. It's about winning. You know that better than most. Points at you and looks at Bazul, who kind of looks down for a second.
So do it then, Malik.
I'm planning on it. And he walks away. Goat. Come on, goat.
Yeah, before I mean, she will follow, but shortly before she just sort of turns around and addresses the group kind of sadly. I was glad to fight by all of your sides. I will not be traveling with Malik. In a day's time, I will, using the winds of First Wind, make my way back to quick Windspire to my people. There I will inform my chief that it is indeed Mountain's Breath, that they are holding the captives, those of us who remain, and hopefully I will procure some support in the battle to come. I will probably be returning to Malik after that, but I do not consider us parting as enemies.
Alas, Goat, if you're siding with Malik, then you are an enemy of mine. A criminal
sorry you
and a
feel-
lunatic.
Dead chieftain. As I was rooting for our camp, and I'll hand it to Gusts. If you could put this in Windspire Peak as a testament that we still stand with your people, it would fill this dead heart with warmth once again.
She takes a feather from her ruff and kind of plucks it out with a talon and hands it to Atlas. Sorry, blank there, and says, "We have always been friends of the Stoneclad. I wish you luck on your journey, and pray that you also find your quarry. Hope you understand that I'm doing what I must."
Absolutely. As long as you are accountable to yourself, that is all that matters.
I do not trust Malik, but I believe that he has something I'm willing to pay for.
Follow your convictions. I can't blame anyone for that. Enemy of mine or no? And he's called you an enemy, but he said that with no malice. He's pretty kind of neutral when he says it.
She gives her like a twitoo, twitoo.
I
And
can respect an enemy as much as a friend. Probably more most of the time, to be honest. So give it your best.
I had a good view of the battle. You were the stronger fighters. In magic and might.
We know.
And she just waves and walks away.
Did Fazul also follow Malik like a little bitch? Or is he just standing here?
No, Fazul walked off on his own, separate from everybody.
Rude.
So, I will say that we will move. So, over the next however many days you guys decide to wait, we'll move to start events quite quickly. We can probably go, unless anybody's got anything they want to do in the meantime, to Grudel's funeral.
I'd just be training.
Sorry. In the meantime, is the Grudel's funeral immediately, or is it later?
In the afternoon.
That day.
Yeah, that day.
All good.
Okay. Brom stands up. That's possibly the closest Grudel of the other group. And you can all see that you've been arranged. Thunder, storm, the stormlands. The rain begins to trickle down. There has been a grave dug by various members. Not much of the town has come out. It's predominantly your two groups who are kind of standing in an awkward silence apart from each other. Nalos kind of gives you a wave as the only member of the other group who currently doesn't seem slightly miffed with you all for reasons that are their own. Rob stands up and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed adventurers, today we gather not just to mourn, but to celebrate the life of Grudel. A man whose courage fortunately suppressed his prowess. Grudel, with lute in hand and a song always on his lips, showed us that bravery comes in many forms. Grudel was a beacon of a different kind of heroism. The willingness to stand up about what is right, even when the odds are against you. An attempt to inspire those around you with music and tales were always heartfelt. His enthusiasm was infectious. Genuine desire to contribute and make a difference was unmistakable. Final act, facing the menace of Razor and acting as bait. Grudel displayed a valor that would make the mightiest paladin envious and stares at Quan at that point. He stood in defense of his friends, lute in hand, ready to face whatever came his way. And though his last song was cut short, its melody resonates with us still. So let us not remember Grudel, what he was missing, but for the spirit he embodied. His enthusiastic stories, his unwavering bravery, and he was a man who showed us that true courage comes from within. Farewell, Grudel. May your songs echo in the bard's tales. He kind of takes the thing and shoves it in, and goes back to the others. Unless anybody else wants to say anything to each other or to over Grudel's body.
I think Casimir just narrows his eyes at Brom firing strays at Quan midway through that. And he probably just quietly says, "He was a silly little man, wasn't he?" And that's it.
And all of you reflect on perhaps how difficult last day's battle was, how for the swish of a blade, glance of a fireball, a lash of energy, everyone could have been standing over you and your corpse today. But instead it's Grudel. Some of it resolves to make you train harder, steels you for the battle ahead. Others may question why you're here. But Ilara, and all of you decide that there is rest and recovery needed for at least a few days before we move on. Now, unless I know people have messaged me about things they would like to do over the next couple of days, chronologically, does anybody think their stuff probably goes first? Or else I'll go person by person.
Well, I think
I forgot to message you, but do you want me to message you now?
Arvis might
Sure.
be in on this one, but I think Casimir would be really keen to get whatever books those mages of razors had on them were,
Sure.
and any loot for the battle.
So, the spell books you get, I think I've said before, contain Fireball and Counterspell. You are both capable of learning and presenting those, as well as some I think you already have.
Do
checking
we
your
have
spell
to?
list,
Yeah,
so
yeah. Hit me up on any first or second that. No, we'll see if
yes,
I got them or
will
not.
do. In terms of loot, other than short swords, bows, some general personal accompaniments, a little bit of gold, huge amount of note. Most of the bodies are beginning to be buried and burnt by the townsfolk afterwards as well, unless they are stopped for whatever reason.
No.
Sure. Anything else to be talked about?
Other remarks at the end of Grudel's funeral, just with kind of a gentle smile on his face, going, "Oh, I do love a good funeral."
No.
You know,
There
it
is
brings all
something.
the family together.
Very
I
well.
mean, I don't think Grudel had any family, but if he did have any, I'm sure they would have come.
Ah, mate, it's a superb place to network. You meet everybody's contacts, you meet their acquaintances, and maybe sometimes their debtors. But yeah, you're all right.
I hate funerals, frankly. Why bother? Why bother dying?
Goat will fly
They celebrate
above
people's life.
the funeral and just sort of hoot very sadly in a mournful way, as is tradition among the Gale Feathers.
I wonder if anyone else in our party has a mortal weakness to fire.
Does your group want to Grudel in your own way and time? Let us perhaps take a short intermission as
No, if you're back on the chronological thing, there is a fairly
Yeah,
important thing I
what
would
would
have
you
done.
like to do?
Probably before all of this, probably like night of battle.
Yes.
Were any of Razor's forces found still alive? If Casimir was roaming the battlefields,
Yeah.
wistfully, sadly, frustrated at the loss, might he have found any that were maybe in not such a good state?
I would say, given your state and the fact that you were rushed away to heal afterwards, any who were left would probably have either been finished off or left. So no. What were you hoping to cast on them, if so?
Well, see, I think Casimir has been pondering the nature of blood magic and the nature of stopping things that are beyond them. It's difficult to do that without understanding it. So I think perhaps he might have been looking for an opportunity to put maybe some of what he'd learned the other night through study into practice.
Not night of, especially given your condition. But maybe we will explore whether or not there's any captives that's possible on through arguing with. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But certainly night of, I'll say none of you are really in a state because I think you were all knocked out quite a few times. Chronologically, anything else other than a day or two? We'll get to it in a second. Anything particular to talk about? If not, then we'll go to a very different part of the world to a place that, to some of you, might be familiar. You may have seen drawings of it from it, but it is etched out in a cliff face. A city almost entirely carved into the mountainside. Separated from the sea by a few pans of wood, jetties, multiple ships to and froing, much of it carved into the woods, almost as if the mountain forms the various buildings as it steps higher and higher. This is the town of Storm Harbor, etched into the Stormcrown Mountains, serving as the kind of forever bastion of trade, and whilst not the most aesthetically appealing town, is certainly the center of commerce previously in the Stormlands, not affected by the weather in between, and one where the majority of Dukai would come to if they were going to start their journey here. You all decided not to come here. You decided that Port Valor, taking your route over the mountains, was better than either going to Reedhome or Storm Harbor. But given recently what has happened, one of your number has made their way to the coast, has commandeered a boat, and has sailed here with the intention of reconvening with their order. Mercy, upon making your way to Storm Harbor, you've stolen a fisherman's boat. You make your way to the various places to the Weaver's holdout. Begin to meet some of the initiates of your order. Say that you have a report, that it's important. You must go. And you are brought further and further within the sanctum to meet the Master of Threads, Elder Alwyn, who, as is customary and as is tradition, sorry, let me just find it. Got on what I told you. As you. Shira Mercy. Do you perceive the threads?
Only as the loom reveals them.
I understand you have a report of great importance.
Elder, I sought your audience only on the direst of circumstances. The target I was sent to shear was intervened in somehow. I tried to seek the guidance from Master and Orexel, but in journeying and observing this aberrant, it quickly became clear that they did not owe loyalty to the Order.
You would accuse Andaxol of having deserted us.
I would. They are forsaken as the Ascension betrayers. They have aligned themselves with Lilith and with the one called Razor. They have interfered in our directive.
Unfortunately, it does not surprise us. The weave is obscured, has become tangled, difficult to interpret, as it did long ago. I must take every warning, every indication seriously, as we did not back then, so that we do not fail again. We will dispatch 4 of the members here immediately to find Andoxel so that he may answer for these accusations. Chanta Lyra, Initiate Jordan, Sister, Brother Merrick, Sister Elizabeth would all be gone before you leave this room. Dispatched into the Stormland to gather reconnaissance and aware of your presence. Each find him.
I beg you offer them what blessings and guidance you can, Elder.
Of course, your mention of Lilith is most worrying. What have you seen?
The appearance of the second aberrant in physical proximity is unexplained. I have followed the one I was tasked to shear, and he has proved surprising, inspiring, even in his tenacity for continuance. I must think that something protects him. It is not his time. Therefore, I thought it prudent to simply wait with him. Let the weave correct itself, but in doing so I discovered another, this Razor, disciple of Lilith, assembling an army. Evidence of soul-rending in the pursuit of a goal. Devotion to the Forsaken and Lilith. Alliance with Andaraxel. These things I could not ignore. And so I have, at great risk, departed their company. For I believe that they were intent on facing this aberrant, and they may yet be successful. Weave will it, I hope it is so, but I could not die knowing that these secrets would never be shared with Master Mandu and
You
the
are
rest of
wise.
the council.
You have acted wisely, young one. Soul rending. You refer to blood magic, yes.
Yes.
As I'm sure you've been taught. The fire amongst dry leaves burns and scars the weave. It is abhorrent. And as our teachings, and as Master Mandu instructs all practitioners, are aberrants by their very choice. I shall report to Riarisvu Mandu, and I'm sure they will make their way here immediately. In the meantime, with Andoxel forsaken, you shall report directly to me. But the weave, as imperceptible as it is now, we must ensure all avenues and all aberrants are watched. I ask that you return and observe and report to me. Take no action until we are certain of what must be done. We cannot fail again.
I will do as you command. Master of Threats.
As a little bit, in the meantime, I should report this to Captain Eloin, Harbour Master and leader of the Maritime Union, who supports our cause. He rules Storm Harbor, and should you need anything, I'm sure she can bring some of her forces and resources to bear.
I had a speaking stone. I fear it is useless now, as the former master had the other.
She kind of, they kind of hold their hand out. If you return it to me, we may be able to use it, Crack and Voxel. However, presumably as they take it from you. In the meantime, I'll hand you another one. Contact me with this.
I will return as swiftly as I can, hoping that the weave wills that my companions are still alive.
Thank you. You are dismissed. Okay. Returning back to the rest of you. I will go one by one. What is everybody doing in the 4 to 5 days of downtime that you have? Start with Atlas. Matt, what would you be up to?
Yeah. So, well, first off, I would, I guess, noticing Fazul feeling a bit down, I suppose I would kind of pick up on that and think it's probably best. I kind of liked him when he was a dick, not gonna lie. You know, him being this mopey self is very out of character. So I said I promise him a sparring match if he lived. So I will go and try and break him out with Funk by asking him for a fight, and if he refuses, I'll punch him in the face.
No, Fazul is absolutely up for a fight, willing to give any and all of you. I think somebody else is going to try to spar with him, so we'll leave perhaps that for how that goes with Casimir. So yes, you can train with Fazul.
Cool.
Anything else you're going to try to do?
Yeah, I just want to make a couple of interesting arrows, nothing too wacky, just ones that do bludgeoning and slashing damage. Maybe 5 of each.
Yes, I'll say that. I'm going to say that you spend your time crafting those arrows. Obviously, it's the bow that does it. If you want to do, what I'll say is that whatever weapon you use, the plus to it. I think it's going to increase the damage of the bows, but the damage of the bow itself is going to be piercing, but your plus to it will be bludgeoning. If that makes sense.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Fine, cool. And then other than that, I would like to spend the rest of the time crafting a few things that I will reveal later to everyone.
Okay. Sure. Pod, what are you up to?
I think Pod would probably start. I mean, if there's any like in the instant aftermath after the battle, now that we have gained the proficiency in Speak with Dead, would probably go around asking dead people strange questions.
Yeah, sure. Any
imagine
particular you
on
want to
average,
ask?
on average, his questions would be pointless, and most of just kind of how you doing. You know, sorry you died. But I guess he would probably collate any sort of last wishes or final rites that anybody particularly wanted, and do his best to try and fulfill it. Kind of as a strange make-a-wish kind of deal.
Okay. Please roll a. I'm just gonna say just roll a d20 for how it goes.
Okay.
Above a 12.
Where's my flat d20? Yeah.
Flat d20.
16.
16. Could you roll a percentage dice for me?
Sure. 60.
60. You go
I
around,
think. Wait.
talk
Yeah.
to all these people. They give you kind of, sorry, they talk to them about it. The last wishes, be it to send a message to someone, be it to let someone know that things are going to be okay, or try food for the last time, you kind of awkwardly feed it into their mouths, or you do your best, and you also put a lot of people to rest, and through it you feel kind of more the peace, the understanding that everything ends, that flows through you. You can select a day in the future where you will be blessed. If you write that down as an option, where you will have the option to bless yourself for free. Only yourself and only for one day, but you don't need to use it now, you can wait for it.
Hashtag blessed.
Being nice pays. Wow.
Do a different type of downtown activity. Arvis.
What crimes?
Wonderful.
I believe you wanted to go for crime. Am I correct?
There is crime, but there's also a few legally procured items. A few things.
Let's go with crime first. I have got a calculator for this, apparently, from the Thieves Guild. Could you make 3 rolls for me? Stealth, Thieves' Tools, and then Investigation, Perception, or Deception. And could you choose your target as a struggling merchant, the richest figure in town, or a noble?
Or a prosperous merchant.
Or a prosperous merchant.
Aren't we the richest people in town at this point?
You are the richest people in town.
Okay, so in theory, DC 15 for a prosperous merchant, DC 20 is a bit risque. I'll go for a prosperous merchant, which is DC 15 and all of those checks. I'll read. Okay. Let me just check if I got any cool shit. That's not going to help. Right, let's bosh out some rolls. Let's roll a stealth roll. All right, chat.
So you must spend 1 week. So this is costing you. You have spent the entire week and 25 gold pieces gathering information before you commit the intended crime.
Do I get advantage on stealth because of recent changes to my character?
Because you have Skulker. Yeah, you do.
Fantastic. I mean, it's the role I need the least help with, but let's fucking do it. It comes out as a 17, baby.
17. All right, putting that in. Why is it not letting me put in 17? Okay. Cool. Thieves' Tools roll.
Thieves' Tools. She's got the same stats for that one, so I will roll Thieves' Tools. Come on, baby. That's a 13. It needs to be a 15. Oh, wait, guidance. Sorry. Yes, a D4 added to that.
Can you cast guidance on yourself?
I can cast guidance on myself. Come on, baby. It's a 1, so that's
14. And your other skill, investigation, perception.
However,
you're gonna use a luck point, are you?
If I'm going to use the luck points,
But you still only get the +1. You can't re-roll the guidance.
No. It's only a D20 you can use the luck on anyway. So, come on, you little bastard. What was it? Yeah, okay, cool. It's a 27, motherfucker.
27, Jesus Christ. Okay. Other skill, investigation, perception, or deception?
It's going to be investigation, which is still looking healthy. I'll throw guidance on that as well.
Okay.
Because, yeah, let's do this. That's a 9. We're going to use a luck point on that. Come on, motherfucker. There's a 14. I got the DS. I guess I got the guidance. All right, cool. Let's roll that D4. Which even if I roll a 1, technically it's a success. So I roll a 3 on it. Okay.
17.
Okay, 2 luck points down.
I'll submit this. Success. So the heist is a complete success. You managed to track, research, understand, and rob a prosperous merchant, earning you 100 gold pieces through this.
Who said crime doesn't pay?
Who said crime doesn't pay?
This calculator pays is what it does.
Somebody's bad at crime.
Arvis, is there anything else you would like to do with the few hours you have between this crime that you said?
Yeah, it was to make a few simple purchases. So one of them was for a healer's kit, if it can be purchased.
Yeah. Healer's kit. Where is the value of this? Because 10 gold pieces for a healer's kit.
Oh,
shouldn't break the bank now. Not with 100 in the bank. 100. Add it. It's looking nice. Okay, healer's kit. That is check. And then I was after some copper wiring. I don't know if that's an
Okay.
item in the game. I don't think it is, but up to you.
I'll say like copper wire costs like 5 silver for whatever you need. It's not particularly difficult.
10 GP, 5 silver, check. And then I was after, it's probably pretty easy to find, like some roots from a plant that resembles a spider plant.
Has a specific property, or is it just one you're looking for?
It's just one I'm looking for.
I'd say you'd be able to find that on your own. Go around. There are plants everywhere.
Marvelous. And the last one, I would like to approach an agriculturalist to purchase some bovine semen.
Unfortunately, all the animals here have been killed. You will need to investigate elsewhere for some bovine semen.
You taking the piss?
No, there are no cows here.
There's a swamp.
What? No cattle?
It's
Nothing?
a swamp village town.
Ah, cool.
It's
All right, let me think.
it's a seaside town, Luke.
Oh, there must be lots of semen in the seaside, right?
Yeah, but no bovine semen.
Sea cows.
All right, cool. Well,
What do
y'all
you
just
possibly
relax.
need bovine semen for?
Don't you worry.
He doesn't need it for
Don't you
anything. He
worry.
just likes it.
I like the scent, you know. It's nice.
Good for the
nice.
skin.
He's just
so
supplementing his
bad.
rations.
Cool. And then that's probably everything except for
Just for the
lots of
gains.
fine thread.
Oh, the
Fine
sausage.
thread.
Oh, fine
Fine
bread.
thread
It's
and
fine
some-
bread. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of copper still. Won't break your bank. 3 copper.
2 copper. Marvelous. Marvelous. Arvis is very happy with
His life
everything.
of crime and doing well with the rolls. Apparently I need to
Just
roll a
very
d8 according to this calculator. Roll a d8. A 3. Your victim, Arvis, you notice. Not only have you stolen from them, they actually were intending to use this to invest to pay back their debts, and they have been financially ruined by your crime. And should they ever have discovered it was you, you may have made an enemy. Should they ever discover?
Oh, this
As
is
to get
retard. He was
there.
fucked already. Like,
Through.
Yeah.
Casimir,
Delaying the inevitable.
hi.
you're down.
Well, I'm looming probably behind anyone's, well, breathing down anyone's neck while he's sitting down and relaxing, and giving them the dirtiest stank eye to remind them they should be training right now. And yeah, he's going to spend all his downtime in the training grounds by the church, like throwing fire at the wall, stabbing training dummies, focusing on magic rituals. Occasionally there's a fireball being thrown out every once in a while. He seems to have picked that one up in the battle. Yeah, I think that's what he's doing in his downtime.
Okay. So I'm gonna have you. Sorry, Quan. Are you gonna be sparring? I know we come to you last, but are you gonna be sparring, or are you gonna be doing other stuff? Because people sparring, I'm gonna make roll off for the winner. Quan. Sorry.
Wait, what? Sorry.
Are you gonna be sparring during your downtime, or are you gonna be doing other stuff? Just quickly before I ask for a roll off.
Probably not.
So the 3 of you, Atlas, Fazul, and Casimir.
I'm not
I would
sparring
like-
with them, man. This is.
Oh, were
this
you
is...
not? I thought they were gonna come do it for you, with you.
Well, I mean, he's gonna be. I'm not gonna fight melee guys in one-on-ones. There's a particular
that's
tool in
fine.
my kit I need, but I'm just training.
That's fine. I'm gonna do the training. That's fine. Could the 3 people who are engaging in training and sparring and that stuff specifically, I'm still gonna ask for a roll off. So, Atlas, Casimir, and Fazul, I'd like 3 rolls with your combat modifier, whatever you choose that to be, strength, charisma, and I want the average of it. So I'm gonna do that for Fazul.
So this only counts for people that are sparring or people that are training as well?
People that are training as well. So if it's a USI, you can roll for it.
Okay, so 3 rolls plus my modifier.
Yeah.
Oh, plus my modifier. So average of them plus modifier.
So if you rolled a 15 and you got a +5, it's 20.
Oh, that's what it is.
But three rolls average each time.
Yeah.
Your average is 20.
Yep. No, my average is 15.
This one. Wait, no. Each time you should add your modifier to each roll and then average all 3 of them.
I get my ass.
Surely it's the same.
beat.
Jesus.
Same. Okay. I'm just doing Zul gets an average of Sai, what's your average?
1 sec. It is pretty low. $11.
11. Okay. Atlas, what's yours?
Divided by 3 is 7.
7. Casimir.
Well, I'm on the 20. I rolled a 19, a 14, and a...
Cool. So, we'll move to a little bit of roleplay. On the 3rd day, Atlas, Fazul, you guys have sparred. Quan has joined in or trained as well. You can see him kind of running around, flashing, going against dummies, or whatever, for some side of it. Casimir and Fazul, 3rd day in. Fazul comes up and look Casimir dead in the eye. I'm done hitting dummies. And I think we've been waiting for this.
Are you saying you'd like to punch me?
I'm saying I'd like you to try to fight back this time.
All right. Fine. Let's do it.
Cool. We won't get... So we'll take a couple of steps back, draw his sword,
I think this
and before...
hinges is completely impingent on a hold person working.
Yeah. Make a roll.
Well, he's making a roll.
Oh, so what's his roll?
Because if he gets held person, next time it's a wisdom 16 saving throw.
So I rolled a 17. So...
Silvery bobs.
3 buffs, sure. Indomitable.
It's like
Same
there's
roll.
2 rats in the party.
So, as you attempt to impose disadvantage, Indomitable,
Mm-hmm.
the sword swings round and is going to try to, let's say, knock Casimir out using the battle harp.
Is this a straight up? Should we be an initiative? Do I have a zombie right now?
I don't know if you want to say the
training
whole
sword.
time. It's the training sword. It's a wooden sword.
Oh, what? I'm a mage.
It's okay. That's fair enough. We'll deal with that in a second. So Casimir won this, as in like the roll up. Fazul average of 17, rolling an 18, a 17, and a natural 1.
Oh. So if this
we'll do that in a
is
second.
training swords, in this case, I think Casimir is using a training rapier, but he has been trained in this. He is proficient in the rapier, surprising probably many of you, and you may question why on earth, how on earth a wizard knows this, but he does seem to. His sword form is pretty good actually, but being Casimir and being desperate to win at all costs, he obviously does not fight fair, as the second he goes to strike, his blades ignite with green fire, and at level 5, suddenly Green Flame Blade is a good cantrip. And, yeah. It surprises you to see a wizard take a fighter in melee combat, but the dice have told me that he does.
So as the swords clash, the whole person doesn't work. Fizzle is slightly taken aback, and will say that Casimir, Fizzle, and Atlas, to some extent, over the next couple of days, engage in this fighting. And clearly, I know you've messaged me. We'll talk about it in a second and deal with that.
Uh-huh.
That's going to come towards the end. Everybody else, I'll message you what you get for winning as well. Sai, Juan, what do you do during your downtime?
So I probably, well, first things first, on the first day, I would have probably gone round and collected anything that wasn't taken before the bodies were burnt. So like weapons, swords, random stuff like that. And probably would have taken it to the barracks to help out Brand. Is it Bran or Brand?
Bran, B-A-R-A-N.
Okay, yeah. And obviously I do like a little bit of trading. Aside from that and helping out with the, I guess, reconstruction, whatever is happening with the damage, probably take Bran up on his offer for drinks.
Okay, and you wanted everyone else to come with you?
I mean, yeah, I suppose if Bran drops by and everyone's around, everyone is welcome to come.
Sure. So 3-4 days into your guys' break, your rest, your training, you're all sitting around. You're beginning to kind of, feel sore after the day. The town is beginning to throw up, and Bran kind of finally takes a second, comes in and says, "Hey, finally take you up on that drink." It's nice to be able to relax, and you see he's kind of, got kind of a couple of scars that are beginning to heal and thing, and kind of, really bruised, beginning to heal, and very much looks tired and weighed down by the weight of everything that he's done to kind of help rebuild the town. Olga, and you go in the Eel's Breath Tavern. Around, please. On me. So one for each of you. Atlas, Casimir.
Wait,
Juan.
who's actually coming? Like, does everyone come? Like,
I'll come.
Yeah, Atlas, Arvis, Pod, Casimir, Quan is what I'm doing by status.
I
'cause
reckon.
I don't actually know if like everyone was invited. Did they just like invite themselves and come along? Did Bran open the invitation? Like, what's going on?
Well, I presume you guys were hanging out afterwards and he came to join you. So who would
Okay,
Quan be hanging out
okay.
with?
I don't know. Who was he hanging out with?
You guys need to decide
Arvis?
so Brian can turn up.
Is Arvis there?
I like Arvis to be there, but it's fine if not. I don't mind.
Yeah, man, it's just drinks. Just
I-
asking who's here.
I feel like you're.
Okay, I don't want to interrupt anything,
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go on a date with Bran. No, so I think
Firebrand.
realistically, Casimir is refusing to sit down, rest, or do anything remotely resembling fun. But if people around him even remotely peer pressure him, he will immediately cave.
I definitely will. I will go over how important rest is part of a balanced training regimen. And only idiots train themselves to death.
That's true, and I mean, let's be honest, I'm pretty good as is. He's probably feeling pretty good after winning. Fine. A drink won't kill me.
Zol's self-confidence must be in the gutter right now. This man needs to be put on suicide watch.
I don't think Casimir was nasty about beating him, to the surprise of everyone. I think
Even
he
still,
probably...
isn't this guy supposed to be like inheriting his like family or something by winning some big battle? And right now he's done nothing but take L's since he's
lose a sword fight to a wizard.
Man is an L collector. He's just done nothing apart from get absolutely banked.
He didn't lose. Casimir just trained the hardest.
I think probably at the end of...
He lost at training, not
Yeah.
the spot fight.
You know he's going to take that. It doesn't matter. He's not going to take that hard. He's going to take that hard.
Yeah, no, I think at some point he would have been nice about it, and he probably would have said something to the effect of, "I know you can do much better than this." You know, you're holding back.
That's
Stop
not the
it.
compliment you seem to think it is.
Just think you're better than this. And that would be, you know, his attempt at being nice. Anyway,
So,
let's go.
Casimir's there. Casimir's there. Pod's there. Arvis is there. Atlas is there. Quan's there. And as you're all enjoying it, Bran walks in. Sorry it's taken me so long to take you up on that offer, but it's been a lot to do. He kind of sits down. Looking over, rolls his drink. How are you all? How are you? And turns to Quan.
I mean, as good as we can be. We're recovering, resting. I have seen Casimir and Arvis in pretty good spirits, so things can't be going too badly.
That's a serious accusation, Quan.
There are many good spirits around here.
Anyway, how are you, Bran?
Exhausted. To be frank, there's a lot to clean up, there's a lot to do, but we've put the word out. We've told everybody that we managed to fight and beat Razor here, and I don't know if there's a town to be saved, but we've been cleaning up the best we can, burying those who are gone. I'm sure you can relate. But the best spirits I can be, or the best spirits I can make myself. Nothing's
So
easy
are we-
with it.
Are we drinking?
Yes.
I'm drinking tea. I'm not in that good a mood.
Respectable.
Quan, you've lost your memories?
Well, that's what I said. Yep. I don't really have any memories from before I woke up, which was however many days ago it was that I woke up, Jamie.
31.
31.
About that, is it right, Ben? Ben's got the calendar. When was
What
the first
day?
day of the campaign, calendar-wise?
First day of campaign. It was, so this is the 36th Cerulean, so it was the 7th of Cerulean.
Yep, about that.
So, yeah, I have been trying to jog my memory, but aside from the other day, nothing.
Well, I'm can't imagine how difficult that is for you. Is there anything you can grab hold of? Anything I can do to help?
Actually, it's frustrating, but I mean, I don't have anything weighing me down. I don't have any worries as such, aside from the present, so can't really complain. I wouldn't know how to go about recovering my memory. I should probably see a healer at some point. He looks kind of sheepishly as if that didn't really cross his mind before, but who knows if they can do something for me.
I could peer into your soul, Quan, and fiddle around with it, see if there's anything to be fixed.
Thank you for the generous offer, Casimir. Maybe we'll leave that as a last resort.
Well, it doesn't have to be weird and necromancery. It can just be sort of light touch, you know?
Well, Quan, I don't want to. I don't wish to impose burdens where ignorance gifts them, but when last I saw you, you were returning home to your family to protect them. I was going to ask you how it went, but clearly that's a not something you're aware of.
And how long ago was this? Forgive me, I don't have any concept of
No,
when
several
we last
years.
saw each other.
So, several years, and if you remembered up until then, I can remembered only a few days ago. Then hopefully it's not much that was lost. You achieved all you needed to, but even though our burdens are not currently pressing upon us, doesn't mean they're gone.
Well, assumedly, if that was a matter of years ago or a year ago, then I'd like to think that they're safe, wherever they are. But I can't exactly protect people that I don't remember or protect anyone that I don't know where they are or who they are or what they're doing. So I think it's just a matter of time.
But you remember Tyr. You had a fairly you've prayed or spoken to them for guidance.
I have not yet sought out a Temple of Tyr so far. I mean, we've been quite busy, so. But I assure you I will.
We should. There's one only if it's destroyed. It used to be part of the Get Off at the Enclave, but there's one a couple of days' travel to the north. I can give you a map if you'd like. Maybe visiting and praying will provide you some of the guidance you need. Or maybe
Well,
maybe he can help.
I appreciate that. Perhaps
Oh,
we could make a
course.
quick stop. Unless anyone objects.
No, it seems we're burdened with time this month.
We've got a long way to go.
No objection
course,
from me.
Of course, I'll give you a map. Besides, regardless of whether or not you remember, it's nice to see you again, Quan, and it's nice for all of you to be here. And the victory holds up a drink for you all to toast.
Strangely, I concur. It is
Victory.
quite nice. Raises glass.
One also raises
Feels
his
good to be a
glass.
winner, mate. Raise a schooner.
He also pretends to drink his beer.
Anybody else wants to talk about or say? Quan,
I'd like a quick chat with Quan while we're at the table.
Yep.
Just Quan, I've known you briefly, but I've definitely admired your sensibilities and your devotion as someone who's feeling a bit bounced around right now between divine forces. Seeing someone like yourself with that level of devotion and determination is reassuring. I'm been a bit lost since I came back, and don't really know how to feel about it all.
Well, you should have faith. I mean, we couldn't possibly understand everything that the gods have planned for us. Explain to me what you mean by bounced around.
Well, our people worshipped Talos for the longest times, but when it came actually and the cards were on the table and we needed his help, he actively turned against us and aided the giants in attacking a lot of our civilization. And then I was raised by Bahamut, and I'll gesture to little bronze dragon on my shoulder. Don't really know why it was me and not someone else from my clan that deserved this second chance. I feel like it should have been someone else.
And why should it have been someone else? I mean, you're here. You've saved almost an entire town of people from Razor. Surely that should give you faith that your god has chosen the right person.
I didn't really think about it that way. I've just thought that somebody could do it better, but I suppose this isn't the worst outcome. Almost everyone lived in the end.
Have faith in
Yeah.
yourself. I mean, you're on the side of justice. Surely that's something that should be celebrated, no?
Yeah. No, thank you, Quan. That's put a couple of my misgivings and unease to rest.
You
I just have
notice
to
that,
do
like, in the
sorry, go for it.
conversation, Quan's advice is very generic.
Yeah,
Like-
I was gonna say Casimir's been laughing into his tea the whole time. And he repeats, yes, have faith.
Like, you may have gathered this, the rest of the party obviously know, but like Quan does not have a good understanding or knowledge of any of the gods in this realm. So he's trying to inspire confidence in you without really giving you good advice.
Okay. I think it's working. I'm a simple man, and simple advice works best.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, go on.
No, that was it.
So, intermittent between all of this, you all chat, drink, train, meet up. But one event that brings you all together on the fourth day, about midday, a ship arrives carrying Atropos, your friend. And given the current state of the city, most of you see Atropos arrive, return back. Mercy. As the group begin to gather around you, along with some residents of Rehome, Ilara runs forward and kind of thrusts arms around you. Mercy, you've returned.
Oh, what a warm welcome. Hello, nice to see you again, Ilara. What happened here?
Well, you missed it. We're not going to tell you. You missed all the fun.
Let me see, Casimir. Razor attacked and we managed to fight her off, and we captured Nadaska and we know what she's doing, and we are going after her soon.
Oh well, and what of Quan and Pod and Arvus and Toad?
They're all fine. They're scattered around.
Oh,
Pod is talking to corpses. Quan is training and doing good. Toad had to return to the Fey Court for a while. But I'm sure I can gather them all together for you.
oh, I would love to see everyone. I was greatly fearful that this might be the end of your stories.
No, they're all back. And I'll say all of you, including Atlas, kind of get gathered around at some point, and Mercy returns. So Casimir obviously is already there.
Yeah, sorry, I thought we were already gathered. So.
Yeah, fine.
It's wonderful to see everyone.
Oh, honestly, Mercy, it's a relief to have you back. I'm so glad you're here in one piece. How was the trip?
The fate
Quan looks
stuff.
questioningly at Mercy.
They nod. It was difficult. The swamplands are indeed quite swampy, and although I am careful, it took me a while. Honestly, I made good time on the boat coming back, which on the way out I had to commandeer a vessel from a poor fisherman who, well, I was sorry to have to do that, but I was desperate to return before whatever is happening with the weave brought you all to calamity. I'm very glad to see that you're all alive, although you all look somewhat down. Something has happened, clearly, but maybe that can wait for later.
Is Pod there, or
Yeah, we're all
Yeah,
here.
you're all there. Everybody's
Yeah.
there.
did you say that you stole a boat?
Yes.
I didn't think you the type.
Probably
Yeah,
sheared that poor fisherman. He has no livelihood now. How will he eat?
Well, I saw
just
that he got
assassinated
into a bit.
him.
He got into a bit of an argument with his wife, and yes, they did indeed have some misfortune as a result of not being able to fish. I believe that he then had to become some sort of snail collector or agriculturalist, but I couldn't really see beyond that. Anyway, it was imperative that I get to Storm Harbour as quickly as possible, and so, well,
What news of your traitorous weavers?
it was a successful trip, all in all. I managed to contact another of my order, and they will be sending fellow weavers, others of my order, to the Stormlands in response to the news that I brought. The one who calls themselves Andaraxel is now very much a creature of interest to the guild.
Well, that's good to hear. We've got further allies, but we did hear something rather troubling about Razor's goals.
Yeah, she's trying to kill Savras. Can you imagine that?
Yes, I'm sure she is. I'm sure
Is
she is.
saving up all the blood magic and using it as a cannon to fire an ancient artifact at Savras to end him and his plans. Lilith's behest. They're trying to kill enough people through blood magic to kill a god. It's a lot of blood, I should think.
You know what they say? More blood for the blood god.
Blood god, what a phrase, so catchy.
And well, how, when is it?
Soon. End of the month.
The
End of next month.
35th of the month.
35th of the month. Some soon time. We're leaving almost, well, a few days' time. We're training, resting,
Yes.
recuperating. We're all riddled with arrows. He kind of pulls down his loose shirt and just shows a whole load of like half-healed wounds that look like they were holes at some point.
Yes. Is this feasible?
Our plan?
Yes.
It sounds a bit ridiculous, doesn't it? But maybe. Regardless, we should, stop her before she drains the entirety of the Stormlands dry of blood in service of her machinations.
Given all we know, I can't help but quake in the fear of this potential. The undoing of fate would cause a new oblivion.
Maybe. You know that.
Doesn't
like the
sound
end.
very good.
Does the end of fate? Fate might be quite fine.
No.
I don't like the end of fate. I seem to be functioning just fine without it.
Well, the 12 Prime would be unshackled, free to reach their influence out across Lokai. Yes, good would be evident from the heavens, but just as much Abaddon would reach out.
Wait, out of character. So Savras and Fate are what's keeping the prime gods from fucking about in Lokai. Is that a known thing?
We've lost our DM.
DM, help!
Jamie?
Is that true?
Someone quickly be the DM.
Damn! We need you.
Oh no. Quick, he's gone. We can say whatever we want. It's canon.
No, you can't invent your own law. How dare you? No, so
Is that
so-
true?
So you guys don't know the great compromise, as it were, is obviously a tenet of Savage religion. No, this would be relatively new information to all of you. You understand the gods operate within boundaries or things, but the idea that it is bound entirely by Savras and the weave is alien to you.
Oh. Wait, seriously?
Yes. Wait. Shall I read them the thing?
Yeah, if you want.
Wait,
There's a thing to read
The
us?
thing.
I read you the thing. Jamie read it in the thing, and he's like, and then he, you know how like people read the Bible,
Mhm.
and then Mercy puts on like a biblically voice, and it's like, in a time before memory, the weavers say that the gods warred over Lakai endlessly. Savras was a god of compromise, and saddened by the endless death and destruction, wove from starlight threads of infinite possibility, which they placed within mortals. Savras took collapsing stars and bound each of the 12 prime in a piece linked by woven tapestries of mortal destinies. Then it is said that Savras wove himself into the god's weed, that no one god may break the peace again. But sometimes fates change. Wait, that bit probably isn't in the dogma. But anyway, that last bit I didn't say.
That last bit that undermines the entire.
Yeah, that last bit that undermines things. But
The
makes
last
things,
bit which
makes
just
the dra-
reads psych.
just reads.
But we could
just
be
reads.
wrong.
Yeah.
No,
The peace may never be broken again. Full stop. But yeah, and then they're like, so yes, our histories record the binding of the 12 through Savras. It is the reason that death does not extend its hand and pluck all, while life does not extend its hand and pluck all, and so on and so forth.
That's fucking crazy. Why isn't this common knowledge? Surely the Weaver should have told people this crucial part of info. That's the foundation of Lakai. Like you say, it is calamity. Goodness. Okay, well, as if we didn't have enough motivation to stop Razor, if that's true.
Hold on, mate. You understand what this bloke's saying?
I think I do, but if you've got a different read, then tell me.
Mate, well, I've got no read whatsoever.
I think the read is if Razor succeeds in what she's doing, we're all fucked sideways.
Upside down. Right way up.
And I believe that part of the problem is Lilith, a deity not bound by the weave, one created after the compromise was created, acting outside. And as a result, my brothers and sisters, we cannot read it any longer. We do not know where this future goes, and cannot see the plan.
But Lilith has seen the plan and she's decided she doesn't like it. Maybe the plan is shit as well.
Who's getting the head around this, mate? Who's creating gods?
I don't know.
Starlight. Collapsing star something. Dogma. I don't know. Religious types are a bit, gratuitous, aren't
don't-
they?
Yeah, in fairness, it is beyond mortal memory.
Esoteric.
Not
and a
even
bit
the
silly.
weavers know the truth of this, and what came before is lost to time. But I do not wish to see the 12 walking free.
Well, we've doubled down on our resolve, and that's about it.
DM, about this conversation, is there any stirring from the person who the god that revived me? Do they have any kind of pick up on any thoughts or feelings from them? I mean, obviously, I want to stop Razor, but in general sense, it's kind of like a sinking feeling from like that
I'd
force.
say like you probably get the sense that they agree with what Mercy is saying.
Okay. It's a good thing. Good thing we decided to rescue you, Mercy. That's vital to know that we must do everything we can to stop Razor.
Speaking of doing everything we can, Mercy, you've missed out on the big fight, so if anyone needs to train, it's you. Play catch up. Run all night.
Sorry. What?
I'm still catching up, mate. I'm still catching up. I got questions. In fact, I've got protests. I signed up for this mission. I did not sign up to stir weaves. I did not sign up to create or break gods. You're all delusional.
It's quite a lot, isn't it? But listen, our mission is still the same. It's still to kill a bandit, so let's just take it at face value.
Well, I suppose we can compromise. Is that what you said? Atropos, a god of compromise. Perhaps we can come to some agreement of just completing the mission for now.
Kill Razor, as always planned. Turns out it's a little more dramatic than stopping a thief in the dead of night.
Of course, you know, there's stories of heroes and heroisms, all very glamorous, and I'm but a simple man.
I'm quite pleased, actually. It's really quite fortunate to be tangled up in all of this. Think of it, Arvis. When we succeed here, all the accolades we'll receive. The power, the influence, the insight into powers that be that we otherwise would never have possessed. It's brilliant, actually.
Arvis just kind of pauses and does that thing where he's just completely still, but his pupils just sort of move between yours, reading you.
Don't know about all that, mate.
Is an opportunity of the finest caliber.
Think about it, Arvid. It's a win-win. Kill Razor. Sure, she's got some magical artifacts for the taking. And the world doesn't end, so you can continue about your business. And if there's any heroic, reward for you, I'm sure you can drive your salary for this mission up.
Yes, but there's opportunity in times of disaster too, and I'm not saying I'm for or against, I'm just refuting that aspect of your commentary. But that being said, again, sticking to the mission and its constraints will do me nicely for now.
Good. Oh, if you'll excuse me, I have a man to hit with a wooden stick.
Wait. Your fight with Razor, the battle. What happened?
Grudel died. And
Yeah, Grudel died.
everyone else was fine. No trouble.
Then that is very good news.
That Grudel died?
You all went well. It is obviously very sad, but unfortunately, this was his path. And know that he was ultimately part of something much greater.
Yes, and we couldn't have done anything more to help him, unfortunately.
Part of a greater pile of bodies left behind by Razor.
Yes, it's being killed by an aberrant part of the greater plan.
Poor Grudel. The moment I saw him hit by that giant fireball, and everything else that hit him, I ran over thinking that I could help him, but he quite literally died in like half a second. It was quite surprising, actually.
It was fast, wasn't it?
It was actually, yes. It was almost instant, actually. You didn't stand a chance.
The disrespect.
He will be remembered. Woven forever, his story.
Mm.
Weep
As a
not
great
for him.
friend, great bard, and maybe slightly out of his depth when it comes to fighting. But we all
He
make
was very
mistakes.
good. He was very good at impressions.
I don't think he was that great at that either, but you know, we all have our strengths.
Let his memory be your unifying cry. Let sadness for his loss strengthen your resolve that this must be done. No more Grudels.
We're not making no more Grudels a thing. That's not a phrase we're going to repeat.
Bran nods. No more Grudels.
Stop. Don't.
Ilara. No more Grudels.
Oh.
I necessary.
One nods wistfully. No more Grudels.
Right. Fuck this.
No more Grudel.
As my goes to train.
Okay. Given the time, we will say that unless anybody, I know there's a couple other things we want to address during downtime, which we can deal with at the beginning of next session. Otherwise, with all of you rested, healed, some new information, Mercy returned, Toad MIA still, we will leave the session there, as you can all prep for the journey ahead with a couple of extra benefits. I know we have Observant for Mercy, Eldritch Adept for Casimir,
What? That's spoilers.
Stalker
We haven't done that yet.
for others. Spoilers for that one. Stalker for others, and other couple of people deciding if they have earned a feat yet, or thought we've got a little bit there. But otherwise, thank you everyone for watching, and we will catch you soon. Bye-bye. 4 days.
Bye.
For the sake of the calendar, 4 days have passed, Mercy.
Wait,
So we are
ooh.
3 days into
So this is the third of first
First
win.
win.
Do we
Yeah.
in fact have an announcement in that we may or may not be playing on Thursday next week?
I think we need to decide that off.
All right.
Stream.
Watch this space. We will probably notif people in the Discord, which is a great chance for people to join it. Discord in chat. Yay. All right, cool. Goodbye, guys, and thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Respect to you.
Bye.